So, since you have experienced the language on the level of the sentence, let's experience it on the level of the paragraph in order to reinvest what has been learned so far. So, stage 3 post reading. We have a situation of communication. So our situation of communication is, nowadays most of your schoolmates are living in a constant state of hysteria because of the impacts of coronavirus pandemic, which led the government to implement the policy of confinement and the closure of schools. Your key pals, meaning your friends that you communicate with through social media, are haunted by the feeling of anxiety because they are afraid not to sit for the baccalaureate exam this year. So you are third year learners, third year students, and your biggest worry is your baccalaureate exam. And since we are in the middle or midst of a special circumstances due to the coronavirus, you are thinking, you are worried if you are going to take your exams or not, and this has caused you an anxiety, and you want to get rid of and be relieved of this feeling. So what you're going to do, you're going to write a composition in which you provide them, your key pals, with some pieces of advice to relieve their anxiety and worry. So before we start writing, we must organize and prepare for our writing. So planning my writing, we must start with a pre-writing. Before we start writing, we must know whom is our audience. Whom are we writing for? You have to ask the question, whom am I writing for? The purpose. Ask the question, what do you want to accomplish? Why are you writing this composition? What do you want to accomplish? And what do you want to send as a message? So, for example, your audience would be your friends of third year. Therefore, you need an appropriate formal language corresponding to their level, the right register. And for purpose, for this composition, your purpose is to contribute positively to relieve people's anxiety and help them keep cool. So, since you know whom is your audience and your purpose, now you have to generate ideas. In order to generate ideas, we must ask ourselves some questions. What emotions and feelings do exams create? How can those exam takers get rid of stressful and fearful feelings? We provided you with some ideas. For example, the emotions and feelings exams create, like pressure, anxiety, worry, discomfort, and frustration. As you can see, these are negative feelings and emotions, and we need to get rid of them. What do? We take things easy, maybe no worry, maybe be optimistic, self-confident, relaxed, and etc. So, since you have generated your ideas, you jot them down. Maybe you shared and compared and exchanged notes with your friends. You have to write an outline in order to have an organized composition. And when you write your outline, you need to evaluate it. Evaluating meaning you just select the ideas that are needed or support or serve your purpose. So we have given you a formal outline. As you know, in a composition we have 3 parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. Introduction introduction has to be catchy because this is the part that catches the attention of our audience. So we have to be creative with our opening. Students you can use quotes, interesting facts, and etc. Preview of the main points of the essay. Preview so that people, when they read the introduction, they may have a small idea what is going to be about. Finally, the thesis statement. Part 2, the body. For this certain composition, we only need one paragraph. But even if it is one paragraph, does not mean we don't have to organize it well. So you have topic sentence. A topic sentence, it states the main idea of the paragraph and transitions from the paragraph before it. And this paragraph is going to be about pieces of advice. Your purpose is to give pieces of advice to your classmates, to your key pals. You use the right or the suitable ideas that serve your purpose. But you must use transitional expressions to transition from one idea to the other. For example, consequently, so, therefore, additionally, as well, besides, furthermore, in addition, and etc. And our functional language needs to be on point. Since you are going to give pieces of advices, since you are going to give pieces of advice, you have to correspond or you express your pieces of advice correctly using the right modal verbs. For example, should have plus past participle, ought to, had better, and needed. Finally, we arrive at our conclusion. A, you can do two things. You either restate the thesis statement, reword the thesis statement, meaning you rewrite it in your own words, or B, you summarize the main points. So we have provided you with a sample composition. Feel free to look at the sample and look at it carefully. You can write your own composition and compare it to the sample composition we have given you or provided you with. So I'm going to provide you with a vocabulary or a glossary in order to enrich your vocabulary, to enable you to understand other texts and to enable you to write other meaningful compositions. So we have arrived at the end of our video, but before we give a note, so the unit 4 is just a book review, meaning it is about recycling and consolidating what was learned or what has been taught as language items throughout the previous units, and we have implemented the pedagogical regulation and selected the essential items in terms of learning objectives and appropriate tasks and resources to fit the target exit profile. So we thank you for your attention, and please take care of yourselves and good luck.
شكرا على المشاهدة. لا تنسوا الاشتراك في القناة، الضغط على الجرس، الإعجاب بالفيديو.